For 25 years we was cock of the walk, and we'd turn up to Old Trafford and we'd be like, win then. We won 13 titles in not a lot of time, and I think a lot of us expected that was going to last forever. We came down to earth with David Moyes. Louis van Gaal ultimately bored the piss out of us.
Louis van Gaal's army!
And then Jose Mourinho was coming. When he came in, I hoped that we would be slapping teams 4-0, whereas that didn't happen with Jose Mourinho's sides. But we're doing it this year, and it feels like we're on our way back up to the top of the league, and it feels like we're going to be part of a title challenge this season. The number one hope for me has to be a title challenge. That's what we're all about as a football club. We're the most successful club in England, and that's where we should be, and we should be competing for the title. Jose Mourinho's won a title everywhere he's been in his second season. This might be the hardest one that he's ever had to do, to try and win a league with this Manchester United side in his second season here at United. But my number one thing is we've got to challenge for the title this season. For fears, the first thing that comes to my head is Jose Mourinho's rotation. I thought if I could criticise anything that he did last season, it was a lack of rotation, and some people think that might have been why Zlatan picked up his injury, because he was overplayed. I'm not too sure about that, to be honest, but there was definitely times when he could have rotated, when he didn't rotate. We went too hard in a lot of the competitions that we maybe could have eased off, and then it went too far the other way at the end of the season by basically playing a lot of the youngsters in the league. But I think if Jose's smart, we've got to rotate this season, because we're going to be expected to get at least to the knockout stages in the Champions League, and we're going to be expecting to put a title challenge in, and I think City are going to push us all the way, and I think Chelsea could push us all the way as well in the title this season. We've picked up a couple of injuries already. I just think that he's got to really start utilising that big squad that we've got, otherwise we're going to come up short. My next hope is that Anthony Martial can become the player that we hope he can be. There's a couple of positions in that United starting 11 that aren't nailed down. There's a real gunfight between Martial and Rashford. I love Marcus Rashford, but I think the ceiling on Anthony Martial is a little bit higher. I think he's a genuine top-level world-class footballer, and we can see when he comes on in games right at the end and he's running up against tired defenders. It's almost not fair. I really hope that he can become the player that we think he can be, because I think that he could really cement his place on that left wing for United for a long time. And even though I think he's probably like a proper striker, I think much like what Terry Henry did when he was at Barcelona, I think he can really cause a lot of chaos from that left-hand side, especially with Lukaku up front, and who knows who we're going to have on the right wing next season. Another fear I've got is what happens when Zlatan comes back. Zlatan was fantastic for us last season, scored a lot of goals, was the focal point of the team, brought a little bit of that swagger and that confidence back, and I can't imagine what it's like for Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial to go into training and have someone with that just unshakable self-belief that Zlatan's got. That must be doing wonders for their lads' confidence. And Lukaku as well. I think that's four brilliant strikers that we've got, and I think Zlatan can really help them with a lot of stuff off the pitch. But what's Mourinho going to do with him on the pitch? Can he play with Lukaku? Will he play him with Lukaku? Will he drop Lukaku? Will it affect Lukaku's form? Will it affect Martial's form? Are we going to see him less? The question mark over how Zlatan fits into this team is a big one, and I hope that's something that Mourinho doesn't get wrong, because of the previous relationship that he's got with Zlatan. Feels like he owes him, perhaps. I just think that if United's on a massive run and Lukaku's scoring the sort of goals that he's scoring at the moment, it'd be a bad thing to drop him when he's in this form. So I think it's one of the fears that I've got is that Zlatan comes in at the wrong time. My final hope is that United turn up in the big games away from home. So many times last season, I mean, yeah, we phoned the league in towards the end, but there was times earlier in the season as well where we didn't try and win the game. We tried to not lose the game. And that's not the United way, and that's not what you want from Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho famously would go and 1-0 those games, wouldn't he? He would have a tactical masterclass. He would go and get an early goal and then close up shop. I don't mind doing that in the biggest of games, as long as we're swatting aside those smaller teams. But it's the mentality to go and think that you can win, regardless of how you win. I want to see us go to these big games away from home and know that we can beat teams, and then we'll know that United are back. My biggest fear is, are we the real deal? We've seen a little bit of a false dawn at times under different managers, and even under Moyes at some points we look pretty decent, but we don't know if this team's a real deal. We don't know if this young side that we've assembled has got the stones to go and win a league. So much experience drained out of United since that last title win. I mean, the whole defence essentially from Rio and Vidic and Evra and Scholes and Giggs, and there wasn't really anything in the middle, even like Wayne Rooney and Michael Carrick now not being involved in the team. Where's all the winners gone? You're looking at the likes of Lukaku, Rashford, Martial. These aren't lads that have won a title before. Who's going to be able to get us over the line? David De Gea's won a title, Phil Jones has won a title, but is that enough? I think United lack a little bit of leadership on the pitch. But I don't know if this team's the real deal, and we're only going to find out at the end of May. I'm excited for how this season's going to go, but I am a little bit nervous that we're not quite the real deal just yet. This current era of City side, it's a pissing nightmare, mate, because a few years ago, they used to have players that you could hate amazingly, willingly.
Yeah.
Bellamy and Balotelli and utter knobheads like Tevez. And now they've just got really good players.